All right, I've already told you about Allison's campaign manager telling a volunteer at another campaign that, right in front of me, she's toxic. Don't associate with her. Openly bullying me. In fact, when I first walked into the event, she was standing in the doorway and I was a little startled to see her. I said, "Hello, nice to see you." And she said, "What are you doing here?" And I thought, did I hear that correctly? And I just went and sat down. Anyway, so she tells this man I'm toxic. And really, in thinking about it, I've thought about it. I have to say, I'm actually glad she said the quiet part out loud because, to be perfectly honest, that's how I have felt at times. Although the word I've used is not toxic. It's radioactive. I told my friend, I feel like those dogs at Chernobyl in the restricted zone. Like, you still like them because they're dogs. And you want to pet them. But you can't because they're radioactive. I actually asked ChatGPT to write me a little essay about it, and what it came up with was really good. I only had to edit one little thing, but maybe I'll put it in the blog post. But here's a little bit, the parts that resonated with me. So again, this is just ChatGPT, but it said, "You're describing what it feels like to be visibly alive, familiar, even loved, but marked by something dangerous to others. Not because you're dangerous, but because being close to you means exposure to truth, conflict, risk, or discomfort that they don't want to absorb. People still recognize you, and they still care, but they hesitate, and they may keep a distance. Or you think they do, or might. And that hurts in a very specific way." And it goes on, but this part here is really good. "You're avoided because proximity to you forces people to confront realities they'd rather not touch, like institutional wrongdoing, retaliation, lies that are easier to ignore than to challenge. People may quietly root for you, but from behind lead walls. If it helps at all," and this is still ChatGPT, "radioactive decay is real. Radioactivity and exposure lessen over time. You're allowed to grieve that loss of casual closeness." Aw, thanks, Chat. Anyway, maybe I'll paste the rest in the blog. I know sometimes the people I'm around are not feeling that way about me, but I'm sure sometimes they are feeling a little nervous and might be relieved at times to not have me around. I'm trying to navigate the snow here. So props to Allison Russo's campaign manager and some A+ mean girling calling me toxic. You dug in right where it hurts. You saw the cut, landed some more blows right on it, and you probably have no idea how good the timing was because just minutes before that, I had said hello to Dr. Hambley, the other very good candidate for Secretary of State, Democratic candidate. I'd met him once before in person at the Head-Ins here in Columbus, in Upper Arlington. But on this day, up in Jaga County, we said hello and exchanged pleasantries, and then I fled. I darted away quickly, because what if there are other people in the room who, an important activist or a county chairperson who might see him talking to me and think I'm controversial and judge him. So I've done that in other circumstances too. I got back out there a lot last year politically, went to events, did campaigning, tried to, create my own reality, fake it till you make it. But I do sometimes flee. I'm looking out for the other person, but I'm really just protecting myself. I don't want to feel or even suspect another person's nervousness about being around me. And like a few months ago, I had to submerge myself back in all the details of my house employment ending because I was preparing material for my lawyers for our next filing with the EEOC. And I was grouchy about it. I mean, the work is actually interesting, so I was enjoying parts of it, but, I was grouchy about it. I didn't want to explain that or be around people. So it was just my best friend and my man friend. Like, I shrank it down. I really didn't want to talk to anybody else. Stayed away from some of my closest, most trusted, beloved friends, because I just didn't have the bandwidth to update them on what was going on, and I just don't want a pack of people feeling sorry for me. So, questioning whether you belong somewhere is a normal thing. For me, of course, it's been exaggerated by this experience. I generally think people want me around and are happy to see me. So yeah, this has been a little tough. And I've often felt plenty strong about my position in our democratic political community in this state, my home state, especially compared with newcomer Allison. I respect the difference. She ran for office. She put her name on the ballot, for sure. But I've been here in Ohio doing the work, been here a lot longer than she has, and I know I've earned my place in this community, and I'm not going anywhere. So when I've been on the other side of this dynamic, I have made it a point to proactively not stigmatize a woman who's been touched by scandal, if you will. We have that choice, and we should make that part of our daily work in life. It only takes the tiniest bit of extra effort. So, yeah, radioactive. She made me a little bit radioactive. I'm careful about who I'm around at times. Not always, but more than I would like. So, I'm working on it. See you soon.